Good morning, everybody. I'm in my Nissan Leaf this morning with 98% charge, and it's a little cold out, so it says 74 miles on eco mode. I've got my dollar sunglasses on from the dollar store. Still got my tags on it. Just ripped my other tag off. But I was thinking last night about the Nissan Leaf. I watched a couple videos on other people that had the Nissan Leaf, and there's one guy that bought one brand new in 2011, and it was made in Japan. He still has the car, and he still gets about 50 or 60 miles per charge, and it has over 65, almost 70,000 miles on it. And that was one of the worst batteries, the one when they first came out. And he's actually thinking about putting a new battery in, because he has the 24 kilowatt battery, and now they have a 40 kilowatt. I think that's what he said, 40 kilowatt. He'll get over 200 and something miles. So that's kind of what I'm thinking when I get my Cybertruck. I think I'm gonna keep this car, because when they go autonomous, I can drive this Nissan Leaf still, because like I said, 90% of everything I do I can do in this car. And he was telling us that he pretty much has charged his car for the last few years, I think, or since he's got it, all on solar. So he hasn't put a penny towards fuel. So basically, once that car was paid off, and he got it as a demo, I'm sure he got a pretty good deal on it. He hasn't put hardly any. He says it's embarrassing how cheap it is to drive. So basically, he put a few sets of tires on it, windshield wiper blades. Just drove it. Had dogs in it. It's held up. He said it's never broke down on him, and that was one of the first cars I ever built. He said one time he drove it just to see what would happen, totally discharged, and it just stopped. But other than that, it's been a great car. He says it's one of the best, most reliable cars he's ever had. And I'm thinking everybody should have a Nissan Leaf, because if you think about it, they're ugly, especially the older ones. You can get them cheap. They're cheap to insure, they're cheap to operate, they're cheap to run. Nobody's going to steal them. Nobody wants to steal an ugly car. Also too, the range is limited. These thieves aren't going to buy a car they can't sell, or they can't get rid of, or can't get parts for, nobody wants the parts, because the parts never wear out. So there's no demand for the cars. There's no demand for the parts. There's no demand for the batteries, because most of the older ones, nobody wants the batteries because they're junk. They're degradate. Most of your Nissan Leafs have tiny little batteries, and they're hard to get out of the car. They're just, the battery's worth more than the car almost. Like, you can buy a Nissan Leaf, an older one, for less than $10,000. Like, I bought this one for $8,500. And that was like 3 or 4 years ago. I bought another one for $8,500, tax title out the door. So if you bought one from an individual right now, I'm sure you could get one for $4,000 or $5,000 or less. Who knows? So a lot of times, I called about one. I could have got real cheap. A guy passed away, left it to his daughter. She didn't want it. And what a better car to get for somebody, like for their first car, is a Nissan Leaf, because they're not really fast, they don't go very far, and there's no maintenance. So, like, my daughter probably won't be driving, because everything will be autonomous. She's not even 8 years old yet, so by the time she's 16, I don't think she'll need to drive. But I'm going to keep this car. I'm going to upgrade the battery eventually, because when this battery goes completely dead, this is going to be 2 or 3, 4 or 5 years from now. Batteries are going to be so cheap. You're going to be able to buy or make a battery for pennies. I mean, it's going to be so cheap to build batteries because there's going to be so many batteries out there. They're going to be making, like, you can get a wrecked Tesla or even a wrecked Nissan Leaf and pull the battery out. And depending on the battery size, I mean, this Leaf can go anywhere from 100 miles to 400 or 500 miles. You just have to put a bigger battery in it. So the only bad thing I don't like about this car is the range. If you can increase the range and put a quick charger on it, there's pretty much nothing this car can't do. It's an awesome car. So it's cheap to drive, cheap to operate, cheap to buy. Nothing breaks on it. I mean, it's a really simple, cheap car. The most expensive thing you're gonna have to pay is insurance. I mean, once you pay it off, there's like, you don't put no money into it at all. And once they start coming out with the lithium batteries for the 12-volt system, I'm gonna get one of those too. You just, once you replace like the 12-volt battery with a lithium battery, and then you upgrade to a bigger battery, and then also too, you can take it into a dealership and have it upgraded to Nismo mode, and then it'll make it almost twice as fast, twice as much horsepower, and twice as much torque. So you actually have a very quick, fast car that you paid little to nothing on, and it's almost nothing to maintain. And if you have a business, you can get it wrapped, and I mean, whatever you do, like one job a month will pay for everything. So anyway, this is Roger with Roger's Reviews. I've had my Nissan Leaf for, I think, over 4 years. Totally happy with it. I mean, the range went down a little bit. I lost one more bar, but it's a used car. It's the worst electric car in the world, but it's 10 times better than any gas car. It's just nothing to worry about. It's the perfect first car, or it's the perfect second car. And once the battery's increased, the range is increased, it can be your first car. So anyway, I know I'm rambling on, but I just wanted to mention that again. If you guys can't afford a Tesla, you want a Tesla, or you want something to bop around town in, or you want to get a car for your first car for your teenager, you don't have to worry about them checking oil, checking brake fluid, checking radiator fluid. It's just, there's no maintenance. I bought my mom one of these, and she literally didn't lift the hood for 4 years. Finally, I had to go over there and replace the 12-volt battery, and I went ahead and replaced the watch battery and the key fob. And I think last year I finally bought some tires. I bought tires and windshield wiper blades for a car. So it was almost 5 years before we had to do anything to that car. And now she's up and running again, and probably be another 4 or 5 years. So it's pretty good when you don't have to do anything for a car for 5 years. The new Teslas are going to be even better because they got rid of the 12-volt system. So there's no 12-volt battery. So that's even less maintenance. They got rid of, on the Cybertruck, there's no windshield wiper blades. And then there's no key fob. So there's no I mean, there's literally nothing. Once you what's this guy doing? These people do not know how to drive. Anyway, but if you could, only thing on the Cybertruck that would make it less maintenance is if you got the run flat tires, or you got those tires that have no air at all. So basically, there's no way. The only thing going to stop a Cybertruck is a flat tire. If you have the biggest battery pack and you have run flats or airless tires, there's literally nothing going to stop that truck. I mean, unless you drive it in a lake or something, but even then, I don't know if they have a possibility for that thing to be sealed up so it floats or something. Other than that, I I have no idea how you could stop that truck. It's just gonna be impenetrable from bullets. It's stainless steel. It's not gonna rust. It's gonna have a 1,000,000-mile battery, 1,000,000-mile motor. It's gonna be autonomous. I heard there's a bunch of other stuff too they're gonna come out with. If you get the tri-motor, it's gonna be you're not gonna be able to catch it. It's gonna be 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. You're gonna have to have I don't know what to catch it. You're gonna have to have another Tesla to catch it, because there's nothing out there that'll even come close to under 3 seconds. And if you're driving like a cop car or something like that, even when you catch it, you can't do nothing with it. You can't flatten the tires. You can't stop it. It weighs probably 6 or 7. It's gonna be heavier than anything you're trying to stop it with. So anyway, I'm on my way to the dentist. Got a cleaning appointment. It's supposed to be there by 8. We got about 10 minutes. The clock's got set back, so I got a few minutes left. Anyway, if you like this video, crush the like button, and if you like my rants, click the other button, and I try to do at least one rant per day if possible. If not, every couple days. But winter time's coming, and it's probably gonna be really slow. We're not gonna have that many estimates, so I'm gonna have more chances to bore you. Anyway, later.